channel. It was my birthday this week, and I received this book. It is a cookbook, and the name is Onions. I don't think I've ever spoken about it before. Oh, sorry, onions, etc., etc. But I love onions. They are my favorite food. I cook with them always. I just love onions, and so my friend found this amazing cookbook. At the bottom it says, "The Essential Allium Cookbook." It's very thick. It's a very large book. So here's the spine. Onions. Etc. And the pages are also this beautiful purple color, which I think is meant to mimic the skin of some onions, like the ones on the cover here. So I think they wanted it to look like onion peel, which I love. So tonight, the plan is to go through this book, and I had this idea as a New Year's resolution that I would try to make some number of recipes from this book. Now, it's too long for me to do all of them in a year, so that's not the goal. I was thinking more like maybe 50 recipes I think would be doable. Also, although I love onions, there's always going to be some recipes that aren't for me. So tonight I thought we could look through the book and pick out some recipes. I have some sticky tabs here, and I'll just stick all the recipes that sound good to me. And then this year, I can go ahead and eat so many onions. There was a time in college where I was eating an onion a day. Cooked, usually, not just a raw onion, although I've done that before too. Okay, and the inside cover is also just gorgeous. It's all onions and onion shells, peels. They also say that it donates 100% of their after-tax profits to food-related causes, so that's nice. More than 150 recipes for leeks, scallions, garlic, shallots, ramps, chives, and every sort of onion. I love all of those. Here, I have some roasted onions. Oh, they look good. I think reading this tonight is going to make me hungry. I sort of wish I could have this, like, framed on my wall. Just onion decorations. These are the authors, I think. Sort of talking about why they love onions, and some of it is that many onions are very easily stored for long periods of time. They tend to be pretty cheap. They tend to be available all year round, and they're very flavorful, and they're used in everything. they have a special allium pantry, a pantry that is just for onions and onionkin. Oh, that's special. They say they also keep salt, butter, oils, vinegars, dried spices, fresh herbs, hot stuff, and mustard. I tend to have all these things too. I love vinegar. I tend not to have fresh herbs, but everything else. I love mustard. Okay, it starts with recipes for yellow and white storage onions, which just means that they can be stored a long time as long as they're in a dry, dark place. Okay, here's what they say about yellow onions. Yellow onions, they're our North Star. If we have yellow onions in the house, we can always find we can always find our way to dinner. And we're not alone. Almost 90% of the storage onions grown in the US are yellow onions. We are so accustomed to onions being available year-round that we can forget that they are seasonal. Day length determines how and when onion bulbs form. In general, bulbs start growing as the summer days grow longer and warmer, although different varieties have different day length requirements. In most places, the onion's leafy green tops begin to brown and topple sometime in late summer, the signal that the bulb below is ripe. I didn't know that. Maybe I could start growing my own onions. Once the onions are harvested, they must be cured in order to make them suitable for long storage. That is, they are spread out, usually in a single layer, in a covered dry spot with plenty of air circulation, until their leaves are brittle and their necks have closed up, a process that can take a few weeks. In the supermarket, most onions are simply labeled yellow, white, or red, with the possible exception of Spanish onions, large yellow or white onions that have a milder and slightly sweeter flavor than regular yellows. However, a host of beautiful heirloom varieties, such as Elsa Craig's and Yellow Danvers, are available to farmers and home gardeners. Okay. The very first recipe in this book is called onion bialis. And a bialis is kind of like a bagel. It's bagel adjacent. I've never made a bagel, and I'm kind of interested in the challenge. So, like, this calls for yeast. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, let's try it and see if I can get bread to rise. And look, here's a picture of it with the chopped onions in the center. Doesn't that just look amazing? And then they went ahead and put salmon on it, and it looks like rosemary, and they put raw onions on it too. Okay, I don't know what this is, but looking at this picture, I'm just gonna go ahead and mark it. That is a yes from me. Let's see, Alsatian tart flambe. Ooh, I've never flambéed anything. That means lighting it on fire, right? That should be fine. Okay, this one is pissoladier, but it says onions and anchovies. I don't think so. I might skip this one. Grace's onion stromboli. Now, I don't love olives, so I think I'm gonna mark this one, but I might change it. Fried water is soup, but you know, it sounds very simple. It's just sort of eggs and onions and then stale bread in the soup. And that seems like a nice, simple winter dish, especially if you want to eat something really light. think that I sort of have to try a traditional French onion soup. My grandmother makes an amazing one. She's a really talented cook. I think this is the French onion soup. Look at it. Oh, and they've got cheesy bread on top. Got that. Don't you just feel cozy looking at this pot of soup? Beef empanadas with raisins and olives. Again, I'm not much for the olives, so I'm just gonna skip. They look cute though. Oh, curried onion fritters with mint raita. That is a hard yes from me. Do fritters have to be deep fried? Because I definitely don't have a fryer. Let's see what they say. Heat about a half inch of oil in a heavy skillet over moderately high heat. While the oil heats up, lay some paper towels on a cooling rack or platter. When the oil is hot and shimmering, use 2 forks to scoop up about 2 tablespoons of onion mixture. Okay, so they're just frying in the skillet. Hanukkah tree trimming latkes. Yum. Yeah, let's do it. These look a little bit like Cthulhu. I always think of latkes as being mostly potato. I wonder if I could make a mostly onion latke. I might like them better that way. Summer sauce. I think this is just like a red sauce. It's not too exciting. A pierogi. I love pierogies. Again, it's got potatoes in it, which I don't care for. But I'll mark it and then I can decide later. I wonder if a sweet potato would make a good pierogi. Not very traditional. Oh, here are the pierogies. Don't they just look wonderful? Roast spiced chicken meatballs with couscous. Once you have the spice paste made, these North African-inspired meatballs rely on pantry staples and come together quickly on a weeknight. When making meatballs, we almost always use ground chicken or turkey, since the lean meat is enriched by plenty of breadcrumbs, eggs, and herbs. Well, that sounds good. I think it sounds like more work than they're promising, though. Tunisian onion chili paste. Rousse, a spectacular combination of lightly fermented onions, dried chilies, and spices, is one of our favorite finds. We call for it in a number of recipes in this book, and it could happily be smeared on almost anything that hits the grill. Well, it sounds like if I want to make the last recipe, I have to make this one. And to be honest, the idea of fermenting an onion sounds fantastic to me. I love fermented vegetables. So. Braised lamb shanks with chermoula. Now this sounds delicious, but it also sounds expensive. I don't make lamb shank very often. I'll mark it in case I have a special occasion, but this too fancy for just me to eat. And this is the opposite. Red beans and rice. I can make beans and rice. I don't need to worry about that. Koshery. There's nothing fancy about koshery. Indeed, one could argue that it's a great way to clean out the fridge, but this classic Egyptian dish of lentils, rice, and pasta couldn't be tastier or more satisfying. We speak from experience when we say that small children love it, and it makes a fine antidote to a hangover. Don't skip the last-minute swirl of minty butter, which makes this bowl of earthy flavors take flight. Interesting. Well, the ingredients sound pretty common, so I might as well try it. Let's see what it says down here. If you're feeling a little more creative, you can boil the onion skins in water with a few drops of vinegar and dye eggs with them. Onion skins can also be used for dyeing wool or fabric, as well as hair. Drinking hot tea made from onion skins is said to help a cough. I don't think that even I would go that far. That seems like onion tea just doesn't seem. Although I don't know. Since I'm gonna have a very oniony 2019, maybe I'll do it. Mustard crumbed pork chops with apples and onions. Now, I don't eat pork, but this sounds really yummy, so maybe I could replace the pork chop with something else. I'm gonna mark it. I mean, apples and onions are a fantastic combination. I'm gonna mark it. And well, I could probably do a lamb chop, or I'm gonna think about it. Sunday brisket with onions. I've never made a beef brisket, but I like everything that goes into this recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this one too, although again, I think that it's probably gonna be more expensive than most meals I make. Okay, they say they take the brisket and turn it into shepherd's pie. Interesting. So this might actually end up being 2 recipes. Rajas con crema. I love this. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Look at these charred black peppers. Rajas, and the crema is cream and queso cheese. And then I don't think I've had it with an onion in it, but yeah, that could only make it more delicious. Me encanta arroz con crema. Pico de gallo. Me encanta pico de gallo. I've never made my own pico. I buy it because I feel like I can never get the tomato chopped right, because you want these really small pieces. Oh, and they have it here on huevos, maybe divorciados. I don't know, they have it here on huevos and tortillas, and I love that. Chimayo red chili sauce. I don't love chili sauce, so I'm gonna skip it for now. Also, this doesn't look terribly appetizing to me. It looks kind of like an abstract painting. New Mexico style red chili enchiladas. Let's see, cheese, goat cheese, and onion. They fry them. Oh, and the red sauce. And then some garnish. Heat about 1/4 of an inch of vegetable oil. When the oil shimmers, add 1 tortilla at a time, holding it under the oil with tongs until softened. Use the tongs to remove the tortilla, letting any excess oil drip back into the skillet. Once the tortillas are fried, heat the oven to 400. Interesting. Dip 1 fried tortilla into the chili sauce, letting the excess drip back into the bowl. This seems kind of complicated. I don't know. Well, I don't eat shellfish, so we're gonna skip this one. Bistec palomillo. Okay, I don't know what that means, but we've got limes here. We've got an absurd amount of onions that look nicely grilled, darkened, and probably some beef. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes. Oh, and of course, cilantro. I know lots of people dislike cilantro, but I love it. And I think putting a lime on anything makes it taste better, so. Okay, moving on to red onions. Red onions. It's not nice to play favorites, but we can't help having a soft spot for red onions. Maybe it's nostalgia for our months living in Sicily when we cooked exclusively with local red onions. Or maybe it's even more superficial. With their concentric rings of purple skin and ivory flesh, red onions are just so darn pretty. We fall for them every time. Their flavor is not especially different from other storage onions. Assertive when raw, they sweeten up with cooking, and they can be used interchangeably. But we always reach for a red when we want a pop of brightness. That color fades a bit when cooked, but it comes to vibrant, fluorescent life with pickling. Opening the fridge and seeing a jar of pickled red onions always gives us hope for our next meal, whatever it may be. When perusing a seed catalog, the red onions will jump right out at you with names like Red Baron, Red Zeppelin, Red Bull, Red Wing, Purplet, and Cabernet. Depending on the variety, they can vary in shape from globes to torpedoes, and in size from small as a golf ball to large enough to completely cover a half-pound burger. Now doesn't that sound good? Red onion, goat cheese, galette. That's a yes from me. I like every word that they mentioned. Oh, now I don't even know how to pronounce this word. Sfincion. Maybe. Where's Palermo? This is a typical street fare in Palermo. A thick, oily pizza dough topped with a mess of tomatoes, onions, and anchovies that is meant to tide you over until your next meal. I don't know about the anchovies. I like the rest of the idea. I'm gonna skip it. Red onion dosas with coconut chutney. We ate our first dosas, South Indian fermented pancakes, in the Jackson Heights neighborhood of Queens, and their light, crisp texture and accompanying array of simple chutneys has held our imagination ever since. No, I've never made a dosa. It's just a pancake, so is it going to be difficult? Oh, this is a 2-day process. This is a longer than 2-day process. I'm not sure. It seems like a lot. The next one, onion frittata with sherry vinegar. I also love all of those words. And another frittata. I love eggs. Insalata tropiana. Now, this looks pretty, but that's gonna be a lot of acid on your stomach. That's gonna hurt, I think. So I'm gonna skip it. Oh, this one sounds nice though. Turkish onion and parsley salad. Oh yeah, it's got lemon juice in there. Yum. Red onion blossoms. These roasted blooms just might be the prettiest dish in the book, inspired by a recipe from Chef Laurent Tourandel. They're also one of the simplest and most delicious. Serve the blossom alone with some crusty bread as a statement piece, or place them atop a steak or salad and drizzle their tangy juices over everything. That's so goofy. Here we go. Here's the good stuff. Pickled onions. Yes, please look at these pink onions. I used to get tacos that had these pink pickled onions on them, and they were so good. Every time I see this, I just get like a little excited because I know I'm gonna love whatever it is. Look, they show them in the jar here. Looking beautiful. Onion jam is also so good. You eat it with like some brie or something. It's amazing. I had some friends who had never eaten onion jelly or onion jam, and I had to go out and buy some for them because I was like, it's better than you think. You're gonna like it. Onions are naturally sweet, and they make a sort of, it's not as sweet as some jams, but it's just the best part of an onion made jam. Okay, kachumbar. Kachumbar. In Hindi, kacha means raw, and kachumbar is a mix of finely chopped fresh vegetables and herbs. What's in it? Seeds. Onion, tomato, cucumber, radishes. I don't know, this again sounds like it's gonna be hard on the tummy. Chicken and chickpeas with preserved onion relish. Well, I do like preserved lemon relish. I do like all of those words. So I'll mark it. And this looks really pretty. And we've moved on to the honey bunch sweet onions. Okay, they say fans of sweets claim that they are happy to chomp into raw onions just as they would an apple, but we have yet to see this become common practice, so I'm not alone in doing that. That said, sweet onions are certainly mild enough to be eaten raw in salads and on sandwiches. Their sweetness makes them a natural candidate for caramelizing, and they make great onion rings. Interesting. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, the majority of sweet onions enjoyed in the U.S. came from Bermuda. Mark Twain, a frequent visitor to the island, wrote, "The onion is the pride and joy of Bermuda. It is her jewel, her gem of gems. In her conversation, her pulpit, her literature, it is her most frequent and eloquent figure. In Bermuda metaphor, in Bermuda metaphor, it stands for perfection. Perfection absolute. Okay, salt baked sweet onions. This just sounds like they bake the onions. Yeah, they just roast them. You know what? That sounds like something I'd eat for dinner. I used to just saute up an onion, maybe with some spices or sometimes with spinach, and maybe toss a little cheese on there, but I would just eat the onion. Va du vin. Va du vin. This French Indian spice blend is similar to one developed by Paul Grimes. This sounds like something you add to other stuff. Yeah, okay, so they added it here to granola, which I'm gonna say it, that sounds weird. Caramelized onions. I do this every once in a while. I think their picture is not representative, because if you start with this much onion, you end up with like this much onion. Onion and rosemary focaccia. Yes. This is also, this resolution and challenge for myself is going to result in me learning how to make bread, I think. Sweet and salty onion toasts. Yeah, why not? I love toast. Boat sandwiches. These sandwiches are the messy flip side to dainty sweet and salty onion toasts. You need nothing more than a big bag of chips and a cold six-pack to make this into a meal. But what does BOAT stand for? Bacon, onion. What is the A? Arugula. And toast? I don't know. I don't eat bacon, so. Roasted onions stuffed with lentils, feta, and prunes. Yes. Zane's stuffed onions. Ooh, it's stuffed with sausage, but I'm pretty sure I could substitute a chicken sausage for a pork. So that sounds fantastic. Farro and vegetable salad with charred onion dressing. You know, I'm not much of a beet person. Winter caprese. Now this sounds good. Onion, vinegar, olive oil, salt and pepper, mozzarella. I can skip the olives, parsley, hazelnuts. Yum. I'm definitely not gonna make an onion ring. Okay, skinny rings are very delicious garnishes, but I'm not making those. And this is still just more fried onions. Onion taco. Now we're talking. Oh, no, it's just a grilled onion ring. Oh, it's not a fried onion ring. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Absolutely. I can maybe even use my pico on it. Here we go. Sweet onion and apple jam. That is 100% my jam. Scallions and chives. Sometimes called green onions or Welsh onions, scallions are the most common fresh onion and are available in the supermarket year-round. They are an inexpensive treat, and we always make sure to grab a bunch or two. Grits with scallions and bacons. I might live in the South, but I'm not a grits girl. 4 onion dip. Well, it has 4 onions in it, so I'm gonna go with yes. Scallion Nigella flatbreads. Interesting. Sounds kind of fun. How do you make a flatbread? Roll out the dough, sprinkle the seeds, lay on a dry, hot skillet. I'm not sure I own a skillet. Well, I guess it'll be a maybe. I do have a skillet, but I'm just not sure it's gonna be good for making a flatbread. Sesame scallion pancakes is one of my favorite foods I would eat in China. There are different ways of making it. These don't look like my favorite kind. My favorite kind were really thin and oily, and they're called laoping. And they're really not good for you, but I do love laoping. Kimchi scallion omelet. I love kimchi pancakes. I think they are one of the best foods that was ever invented. They make me think about how wonderful humans are and how smart and how perfect that we could come up with such amazing dishes. If I could make my own, it's possible I would never eat anything else. So, here they're gonna teach me how to make my own kimchi. That's also just dangerous because, yeah, I always have kimchi in my fridge. Galbi. You know, any galbi that I could make just wouldn't be as good as what I could find at a restaurant. So I'm gonna skip this one. Warm tofu with spicy scallion sauce. Yum. Champ. It's Irish. Scallion mashed potatoes. Scallion tabbouleh. Scallion miso butter. Our favorite topper for baked sweet potatoes. They make butter with miso and scallions. It's kind of weird. Tabbouleh. I don't love tabbouleh. Green gazpacho with almonds. I love gazpacho, and I can probably skip the almonds. So, yes. I'm allergic to almonds. Kanji's just porridge. No, thank you. Creamy chive dressing. Chive pasta with 6 allium sauce. 6 alliums. Absolutely. And the pasta itself also has chives in it. That's fantastic. Oh, look at it. Isn't it beautiful? I'll be honest, I'm more likely to make the sauce than make pasta by myself. never made pasta. But aren't they beautiful? Chive omelette for one. Look how little and skinny it is. This makes a civilized dinner for a quiet night. Rolling the omelet. Huh. I've never done it that way. I'm gonna mark this one because I know how to make an omelet, but there might be some nights during my resolution that I'm gonna want an easy win. So this will make me feel good about myself. 2020 roast chicken. Classic French dish, chicken with 40 cloves of garlic. That's amazing. Garlic chives, native to Eastern Asia, where they are used as much as a vegetable as an herb. Garlic chives are revered for their delicate texture and forceful flavor. Interesting. These are called fun. Oh, I want to eat that. It's covered in like the sort of dried garlic and then those chives. Yeah. Bean thread noodles or rice noodles. Oh, I call them fun. I'll mark this. It's got pork in it because it's Chinese, but I can just skip that part. Pork and garlic chive pot stickers. That's the classic pot sticker, and I've made a lot of them. I once was in a contest to make pot stickers. I thought it was gonna be like who can make the best pot stickers, and I knew that I had no hope, but it turned out to be a speed competition, and it was who can make the most pot stickers. And then I definitely had no hope. It was an utter disaster. But pot stickers are one of my favorite foods. Dearly beloved, shallots and leeks. Shallots, they are thought to have originated near Palestine. But it's fun to imagine these small alliums migrating across a world map to the two places we now most associate with them, France and Southeast Asia. Yum. Yeah, shallots are expensive. They're the only expensive onion. So I'm not going to waste it on a vinaigrette. Or a sauce for oysters, which I can't eat. But yes, I will pickle them. Maybe that's will be this coming year. A pickler. Fried shallots with a bonus of shallot oil. I'm still not gonna deep fry these things. It's not really my cooking style. Grilled delicata squash with shallot agrodolce. Agrodolce. I don't know what that is. I still don't know what it is. I think can't eat clams. I'm almost out of posties. Oh no. I only have 2 left. pepper, chicken skewers. I like all of those words. Let's see, there's also chilies, honey, 9 garlic cloves. That is a yes from me. Although I've never made a skewer, but well, we'll find out if I know how. Leeks. The Emperor Nero was such a fan that he earned the nickname Porophagus, or leek eater. In China in the autumn, there would be leeks spread out to dry, I guess, just everywhere. Like, everyone had them, and they were just outside of everyone's apartments and on the roofs and just kind of everywhere. And they were very pretty. Leek tart with feta and dill. I like the idea of that. But that was my last post-it. I'll have to find some more. Okay, I got a fresh batch of post-its. Leeks vinaigrette with egg mimosa. Like a drink? What is egg mimosa? Oh, it's got anchovies in it. I don't know. I don't think those words go together. Frizzled leeks. That's just another fried leek, fried onion. But cheese and allium toasties. I think everyone should be coming over to my place this year. It's gonna be nice. White leek soup. That's just mostly potatoes. Lamb stew with favas, turnips, and leeks. Christine's Verderet. Oh no, it starts with a bunch of mushrooms. I don't think so. Pearl onions and cipollini. Pearl onions. Dainty specimens whose bulbs are only about an inch in diameter. Pearl onions have a mild, sweet flavor and crisp, juicy flesh. Pearl onion tartatin. Yes, look at this. Look at these onions caramelized in their own juices on a tart with balsamic vinegar. Pickled pearls, a traditional garnish for Gibson, a gin martini. Pickled pearl onions are a delicious treat on their own. Their piquant, bite-sized pop works well alongside a charcuterie plate or a chicken liver pate. Interesting. Well, I like gin. I could make myself a martini. Actually, my grandmother loves making gin martinis, so maybe I should do these for her. Pink pearls, another easy pickle that's less sweet and more tart. These colorful onions are great over pork chops or steak. I love the idea of making pink pearls. And it looks like it's just vinegar, peppercorns, sugar, salt, and onions. And here it looks like they have a bay leaf in it. Beef stufado. Recipes for this rich, Greek stew originally caught our eye for two reasons: the use of pearl onions and the inclusion of vinegar. Well, all of that sounds lovely. Beef and onion anticuchos. The bite-sized nature of pearl onions makes them perfect for skewering and grilling. Livers and onions. I don't love liver. Cipollini, meaning little onions in Italian. Cipollini onions are just as suave as you'd imagine. Button-shaped and larger than pearl onions, sometimes by a hair and other times by several inches. Cipollini are increasingly available in the fall and through the winter. They're very sweet. Cipollini agrodolce. It's an Italian sweet and sour sauce with white balsamic vinegar. That sounds yummy. Is it a dish or just a sauce? Hard to say. Oops. Roasted onions with warm bacon vinaigrette. I don't eat bacon, so although I could probably use turkey bacon. It's got mustard, sugar. I've changed my mind. I can do turkey bacon. Seared duck with cipollini and cherries. That sounds delicious and remarkably expensive, so I'm not gonna do it. Ramps, spring onions, green garlic, and garlic scapes. See, as much as I love onions, I can't tell the difference between like these and green onions and chives and scallions. They all look the same to me. Ramps are wild leeks along the east coast of America. Interesting, you can just find them out there. Poached eggs with buttery ramps. I don't love poached eggs, but this has Sichuan peppercorns in it. I can, you know what, I can make the eggs a little bit differently. Because I've never used ramps before, and that sounds intriguing. Pickled ramps. Sichuan peppercorn is called ma in Chinese, and it numbs your mouth. I've also heard it called numbing spice. It tastes a little bit piney, like kind of like gin has that pine flavor, but it's a little bit piney, and then your mouth goes numb. It's a little tingly and strange, and then when feeling in your mouth comes back, everything tastes much stronger and better. It's delightful. Okay, Appalachian chimichurri. The Argentinian herb sauce known as chimichurri is traditionally made with parsley and lemon juice, but it's adaptable by swapping in other green herbs and acids. Interesting. Wow. I'll try a chimichurri sauce. It sounds yummy. Alliums and acids. Spring onions. Looking like scallions on steroids, Spring onions are available in the late spring. They are simply immature red, yellow, or white onions that have been pulled early in the season. Interesting. Grilled salmon and spring onions. I like salmon a lot. I can make this. Sounds very simple. I think it's just lemon. Yeah, lemon, oil. I usually do lemon and butter with salmon, but oil works fine. Look at these charred peppers. Yum. Roasted spring onion with romesco sauce. Bell peppers. Ancho chiles. Hazelnuts. Paprika. I'm not sure I'll be able to find all of that. But pizza. Let's do it. I don't often make pizza. Green garlic and garlic scapes. Oh, I've had these. I know what these are. You need not wait for garlic to fully mature to enjoy it. Like onions, garlic must be thinned in the field. Those thinnings are sold as green garlic. That answers that question I've had for a long time. Yeah, people just straight eat these. Dilly garlic scapes. I've never had a Bloody Mary. I don't think I'm gonna change that. Green garlic and chive mayonnaise. And then they make angel eggs. I love deviled eggs. So let's try this. Sounds perfect for me. Although, is she making the mixture using a... That's interesting. I've never done it that way. Green garlic Caesar. More anchovies. These people like their anchovies. Fried rice with garlic scapes. That fried rice does not look good. It does not look fried. It looks dry. Green garlic and pancetta risotto with dandelion salad. I'm pretty sure pancetta is pork. Grilled fish with charred garlic scape relish. Oh, they use like a whole fish. Let's just get beyond that. The vital bulb garlic. They have that correct. Garlic is vital. Garlic. At one time, the world was divided between joyful garlic eaters and those who looked down on them. These naysayers found the bulb and its fragrance coarse and offensive. What? Garlicky garlic bread. So no offense to these people, but my mom had a garlic bread recipe that I love, and I don't need another one. Garlic confit. Yeah, I mean, I would just eat that. I know it's supposed to go on stuff, but Italian pickled garlic, Chinese pickled garlic. I have missed this. In China, when you get hot pot, which is like a shared soup, it's delicious. Everyone should try it. They would always start the meal by giving us a whole head of pickled garlic. And my friends weren't really into it, so I would always eat almost the whole thing. But they don't do that here in America when I go to hot pot. roasted tomatilla salsa. I don't love salsa. Amogyo. I have no idea how to say that. Seems to be mostly tomatoes though, which is not really my thing. Harissa. Tunisian spice paste once, and it's likely become a refrigerator staple. It's got guajillo, chiles, ancho chiles, coriander, caraway, cumin, garlic, tomato paste. And then you put it on some eggs. Yeah, I'll try that. Honestly, spice paste sounds wonderful. Chermoula, North African sauce. They put it on carrot. I don't know. Lamb chops, cinnamon onions, juicy onions made with cinnamon, 4 thinly sliced yellow onions, lemon zest, lemon juice, harissa, which is the spice paste, right? Yeah, harissa and cinnamon. That sounds good. I'd make cinnamon onions. Basil pesto. I love pesto and it gives me heartburn. So I don't really eat it. Brandade. That can't be how that's pronounced. What is this? It's cod, thyme, peppercorns, milk, potatoes, confit. That's a weird combination. This doesn't look appetizing. Oh, it's eggplant. That's why. No, thank you. Spaghetti with pistachios, garlic, and mint. I have never heard this combination, but it sounds kind of easy, and if it's good, well, who doesn't like easy and good? Let's try it. Pizza escarole. Flour, yeast. I don't really like escarole that much. And again, more anchovies. These are shrimp, which I can't eat. Oh, we're getting near the end. Pork, which I also don't eat. Sesame. Do-it-yourself black garlic. What is black garlic? And a black garlic spread. It's become quite trendy very quickly. It's not fermented, but it's a Maillard reaction. The whole unpeeled bulbs are aged in a warm, humid environment until the cloves become black and sticky, a process that takes a few weeks. After this transformation, the garlic is virtually unrecognizable. Fascinating. Yeah, I want to try that. Although I'd be worried I'd do it wrong and I would get sick or something. I might read up on that, make sure it's safe. Eggplant salad. I just don't like eggplant. I tried, but I just don't. And that's the last one. Okay, and then there's the index. And of course a plate with no longer any onions. So let's count out how many I marked. Got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on, they're stuck. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So I marked 62 different recipes. So I think my goal is going to be to make 50 of them over the course of this coming year. So wish me luck. I'm looking forward to getting started. If you guys already know some resolutions you might have, let me know. Or if you have a favorite onion recipe, you should let me know.